Now, how do you cope with naming your children? Because in culture, when a child is born, parents will donate names. How do you cope? Let me hear from Mr. Shola.
When we want to name our child, he will bring the name. Me too, I too will bring Yoruba name. He will bring Igbo name. His parents will bring Igbo name. My parents too will bring Yoruba name. So we added it together. So our children are bearing both Igbo name and Yoruba name.
Let me also ask this question from the man. How did your parents accept that you can name your children Yoruba name? How do you cope with that? How do you manage that?
We ended up having the children bearing English name. The Yoruba and the Igbo name became silent. So we try to make sure that they are global and we don't limit them by their name. They have a Yoruba name, they have an Igbo name, but the English name is the most pronounced one. So to make sure that I don't swallow her own identity, and also she don't feel that I swallowed her own identity. So all our children bear English name at the moment.
Wonderful. Now question can be asked from the audience. This is my last question. Now, the other question I want to ask is that what language does your children speak now?
It's a bit tricky at the moment because our children, they hear both Yoruba and Igbo at the same time, but at the moment they are not speaking it as fluently as they're supposed to speak it, because what I try to do once in a year, that I make sure they go back home and spend some time with my parents so that they're able to understand our culture, understand the people around us, understand our family, and also be able to learn the language and make sure that they get integrated. Also, I also send them to my wife's village. They spend a couple of weeks there also to understand. So it's a little
wonderful,
tricky. So
wonderful,
they
wonderful.
try as much as possible to blend.
Wonderful.
To understand the both parts.
Do you want to you want to say something about that?
To support him, we organize an Igbo teacher to teach them and even to teach me. Then sometimes I do speak Yoruba to them so that they will know. I do speak Yoruba to them. My mom do speak Yoruba to them.
Wonderful. Can we appreciate that? I think your children are blessed to be able to speak Igbo and what? Because really, these are the two major. We have other languages in Nigeria. But when you can speak Igbo well, I can speak Yoruba well, you are in for business. I have a member of my church in Lekki. The man was raised. He's from Ondo State, Ilaje. The mother happened to be Igbo. So the mother died when they were much younger, and they lived some of their life in Igbo land. So the man speaks both Igbo and Yoruba fluently. So whenever he wants to do business, he will start speaking Igbo. Whenever they want to do land business in Lagos, he starts speaking Yoruba. So people don't even know the difference between them. And I think this is a very good blessing. And we appreciate God for this.
Enjoying your marriage is key for a blissful home and marital success. In order to make this work, How to Enjoy Your Marriage and Not Endure It by Dr. Amos Fenwa is a book that opens you to possibilities of marital bliss. Find out how to understand your spouse, intimacy in marriage, expectations from your spouse, and lots more. This book will teach you how to love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sin. To purchase a copy, visit www.amosfenwaministry.org or call the numbers on your screen.
Do I have a question?
Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Leonard, you explained that some said people from Abeokuta, they are not really good. Now, in 17 years, what they said, have you been able to confirm whether true or false?
I think you are trying to put me on the spotlight here. Actually, we all understand that there are no perfect marriage anywhere. We're all striving, being Christian, as we strive to live a holy life. That's how we strive to make marriage actually works for ourselves. We keep on trying. But I would say that the most important thing that I've learned in marriage is tolerance and endurance and trying to give and take. Is the most important thing about marriage. And physically, when I got married 17 years ago, I was walking on the straight and narrow way. But today, if you look at me, I'm just fulfilling what Jesus Christ said, occupy till I come. So I would say that I've enjoyed every bit of the marriage, and I'll keep on. If I have an opportunity to come back to life again, I will still marry her.
Oh
So
my God.
It's just
Somebody shout hallelujah.
and this is where I also need to commend the church. By the time we got married 17 years ago, the church had a program then. We were to get married in December. By July, they scheduled different ministers and pastors who took us in various aspects. And those ministers, they really took time to really talk to us, encourage us. And most of those words they told us then still re-echo in my mind. And after 17 years, we are still standing. And if Jesus tarries, the next 17 years, I believe we'll still be standing. So, as ministers and leaders in this church, I would like to also appreciate us that we keep on with that same thing, that when we have people from different tribes coming together to get married, we'll try as much as possible to encourage them. From where I'm coming from, when I told them that I'm getting married to somebody from the West, they said, does it mean you can't get somebody from your tribe? You can't get, so, you know, we are biased with tribe and culture and all the rest. But when I came into this church here, so I saw a different thing. I saw a global view. And the ministers then really took time to really encourage us. And we spent a lot of time. And most of the thing that is guiding our marriage today is part of what they taught us.
Amen. More question?
Yeah, the last question. You know, when you have children, in the Igbo land, I know that the mother-in-law, the mother of the bride comes in, isn't it?
Omugo.
Omugo, yeah. And the Yoruba culture is the mother-in-law that comes. How are you able to manage that time where your children came?
I'm very lucky for that. Her own mother is older than my own mother. So, and most of the time, her mother comes, and after that, my own mother comes. So it was a wonderful time. It was a blend. So we do it in a way, my own mother comes, after she goes, her own mother comes. So it was not really a problem. So my own mother comes for the Mugo, and our own mother also comes for the Mugo. So it was a balance. So nobody was cheated.
Wonderful.
Daniel, please, can you tell us the attributes of the Yoruba culture that you've been able to tap from your wife?
You learn, okay?
One wonderful culture about the Yoruba people is the manner of respect. Unlike the way people from the West respect people, the way they greet and respect people is different from where I'm coming from. As you can actually be standing and be shaking somebody that is old enough to be your father. But it has also affected me because I've imbibed that kind of culture too. It has become part of me that when you greet, you have to prostrate. And virtually all my children do the same thing. So it's one thing they have also accepted from my wife, and they try to live the same way, they prostrate. And sometimes when we get back home, my wife also makes the same mistake. When we go to our village, she also tried to greet them prostrating. And they will look at it, what is this? You know, they're not used to it. And I used to tell her that, look, these people don't appreciate this. So don't greet them this way. Greet them the normal way. So, but you know, the Yoruba people, they used to say a proverb in Yoruba that if a tall person bows down and greets a dwarf, that doesn't mean if he gets up, they will be of the same height. So,
My God!
About,
I love that.
Respect. So,
what would be your advice to ladies that want to marry from another culture?
When you love the man, pray. Seek the God's will. If it's God's will, the marriage will succeed. No matter how, it will succeed. And you too, you keep on. You endure. Marriage is endurance, tolerance. A lot of things will happen, but if you have focus that your marriage will not crash, and you base your marriage upon the solid rock of Christ, it will succeed.
Are you in a relationship or planning to get into one? And you want to know how to do it right? The syllabus has changed. Singles Checklist by Dr. Amos Fenwa is an eye-opening book that tells you all you need to know before getting hooked. How to identify the right one for you. Do's and don'ts, love languages, and many more. Now you have it! A checklist for the perfect guy or girl. To purchase a copy of Singles Checklist, visit www.amosfenwaministry.org.